Hello everybody and welcome back here to IndySportsCrew.com and my Monday Night Reaction. And Monday Night Reaction on a Friday this week. I know that's a little bit odd to say, but you know, this past week my wife Jessica and I welcomed in our firstborn son, Graham Corey Van Devener. So took a little bit of time off from the website and wanted to just spend some time with Graham, and it went great. He's healthy, Mom is healthy, everyone's doing wonderful, and I'm so happy to report that. That's the best story I could ever report on. So Graham's doing great. He's actually dressed tonight, Friday night, for the big IU basketball game, so he's got his IU gear on for all you Hoosier fans out there. But let's go back to the Colts and our Monday Night Reaction, and we'll get back on track with that this next week. But last week, the Colts lose at Houston 29-17. Not the best game that the Colts have played, but you know, you're going against the number one team in the AFC record-wise, and you're going against the number one team in your division, so that's always tough on the road. Colts can't get it done, but even though you lose, you actually are in prime position, as we've talked about before. You're sitting pretty for the playoffs right now after a couple other teams help you out, and we'll get to that at the end. But you're discouraged by the way you played. You feel like you could have played better, but you're still not out of it, and you're still right in the thick of the playoff hunt, so you have to be happy about that. As we look back at the Texans game, though, with the loss, the Texans clinched the AFC South, so you're out of luck there. So you're only shooting for the AFC wildcard spot now, one of two that are available to you. So that's what you're looking at. In the game, in my opinion, the game was determined in a 5-minute stretch of the second quarter. You're already trailing in the game. You're down 10-0 to start out the game, and then you have a touchdown called back for holding, so you settle for a field goal. Then you fumble on the goal line, and you give the Texans the ball back. And then following that, you have a punt blocked and returned for a touchdown. So in that 5-minute stretch, you had basically everything that you don't want to happen to you, and you dig yourself a 20-3 hole, and you can't come back from that. Yeah, you do battle back. You get the score back to 23-17. You're within one possession, but you just can't dig yourself that far of a hole and expect to come back against a good team on the road like that. But you have to at least admit, or at least adhere to the fact that you did stick into the game. You're happy about that. You're happy about the competitiveness. But you're just not there yet to be able to do those kinds of things. And I know the Colts have been getting away with tons of turnovers this year. Their turnover differential, I think, is -18 at this point on the season, so that's not positive. But you look at that game, that's the difference in the game. Those 5 minutes, you can't dig yourself a 17-point hole on the road like that. Andrew Luck, sometimes on the road, he gets a little jittery. Offensive line has to do a much better job of protecting him. J.J. Watt was on him every single snap of the game that he dropped back, so you have to do a better job, especially if you are going to make the playoffs, because you know there's going to be some pretty good defenses there. The last thing we have to touch on is it is Friday, and we're only a couple days away from game day, but the Colts right now, you're 9-5. You go on the road to 2-12 Kansas City coming up on Sunday. You win and you're in the playoffs. It's as simple as that. You beat Kansas City, you secure yourself a playoff spot. And that's all you have to do against a team that hasn't had very much luck this season. The reason that is Pittsburgh and the New York Jets have really been helping you out. Pittsburgh's in free fall mode. I think they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. Ben Roethlisberger's calling out his offensive coordinator. That's not going to help you out. The Jets lose on Monday night to Tennessee, one of our divisional foes, so the Titans actually help us out there. But so you lose, or the Jets lose, opens up a spot for the Colts basically. Even if they were to lose their final 3 games in the regular season, they would still be looking pretty good for the playoffs. It would come down to some tiebreakers, but you don't want to leave it up to chance. You want to win this game in Kansas City, and it's looking right now like it's going to be the Colts in the playoffs, and then probably the winner of the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game that's also this Sunday. Things get a little tricky there in the AFC North with Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. Even though Baltimore's clinched a playoff spot, they haven't clinched the division yet. Those other 2 teams could jump up and get them there. So it's pretty interesting. But right now, here's all you need to know. Colts on the road at Kansas City. Chance to clinch a playoff berth. Get back to the playoffs after missing last year and after losing 14 games a season ago, and get to 10 wins. Nobody really saw that coming. Even people that thought the Colts were going to have a great season only saw them at 8-8. Well, thanks for coming to IndySportsCrew.com, and we'll see you again next time.